Hi everybody, I'm Mataure. Welcome back to my channel. I'm back today with another video about something that's a little bit different. I want to talk about a chronic condition that I've lived with for most of my adult life, and that's hypertension. So for those of you who don't know what hypertension is, it's essentially high blood pressure, or just BP, as people in Zimbabwe like to say. I've lived with high blood pressure for a very long time, and I just wanted to tell my story. It might help someone out there because hypertension is not something that usually people who are younger tend to face. It tends to be something that creeps up in your older age. So it's something I just wanted to talk about today, and hopefully, you may save a life. Who knows? Let's get right into it. So, I first discovered that I had high blood pressure when I was about 19 years old. So, at that time, during my high school period, I used to get a lot of headaches and everything, and I could never figure out why. I don't know why nobody ever bothered checking my blood pressure. But I used to get a lot of headaches, I used to suffer from a lot of migraines, and we just couldn't find the cause. So, one day randomly, I decided to go and give blood. And when I went there, they checked my blood pressure. And the nurse said to me, your blood pressure looks a little bit high, but I don't know, just sit down a little bit, let's check it again. She checks it again, and she's like, no, it's still a little bit high. I don't know if this is something that happens to you all the time, but I'll keep an eye on it. And me being 19, I was like, yeah, whatever, okay. And I moved on, I gave blood, cool. Then I went to university. Then at that time, I think at some point in my first year, I got sick. Nothing serious or anything, just like a common cold. So I went to the clinic on campus, and the nurse checked my blood pressure, and she's like, your blood pressure is a little bit high. I think it might be because of your cold, but anyway, let's just check. I want you to come back next week. Let's check it again. I went back a week later. I checked it again. She said to me, no, it's still a little bit high. I want you to come back in another week. So I came back in the third week, and it was still high. And from there, she's like, nope, I'm not going to let you leave until you see a doctor. Your blood pressure looks like it's quite serious. So eventually I saw a doctor. The doctor saw my readings, and he was like, no, you know what? This is not normal. Your blood pressure is too high. I think we're going to have to put you on some medication. I was speaking to the doctor, and he said to me, no, you know what? You have to be on medication. And I was like, no, you know what? I'll take my chances, blah, 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 blah. And he said to me, no, that's fine. Just know that your kidneys are likely to get damaged because of your high blood pressure. And if you want to be on dialysis, that's $250 a session. I was like, what? At that time, I remember I called my mom, and I was so upset because I was like, no, blood pressure, that's an old people's thing. It shouldn't be happening to me. Me. My mom's just like, look, I mean, at the end of the day, at least you found out what's been happening to you. So hopefully it should help you feel better going forward, right? Cool. So anyway, I just got used to it. I just got over it at the time. I was like, yeah, whatever. It's just a couple of pills. So at the time, my doctor said to me, listen, you need to change your lifestyle. You need to try and lose some weight. You need to eat healthy. You need to exercise. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm 19. Oh, that's for old people. And then I ignored it. After I left university, I stopped taking the medication because I was like, no, you know what? I'm young, okay? I'm young. I don't deserve for this to be happening to me. So I'm not going to take any more medication. Don't do that. That was not smart. I started to get sick. So now one of the biggest problems with having high blood pressure is you don't really feel it. It's so hard for if someone tells you, or if someone were to ask you what are the symptoms of high blood pressure, you just feel funny. I know it sounds so weird, but there's some symptoms like, you have headaches and all that stuff. But I was having severe headaches, yeah, but you just feel funny. It's like you start to feel tightness in your chest, and you just feel like overall, I don't feel healthy, I don't feel okay. So I moved back to Zim at that point because I graduated. So I said to myself, no, you know what? This business of not taking my medication is just not on. I need to get my meds back. So because my medication was by prescription only, I couldn't just walk into a pharmacy and get it, which meant I had to go and see a doctor. So I started my journey of trying to find a doctor who would take my condition seriously. And it was awful. I saw so many doctors who said to me, yeah, no, you're probably just stressed, or oh, it's your boyfriend, or oh, it's your schoolwork. I don't think you should be on medication, you're far too young. And a lot of doctors dismissed me. And then at some point I gave up. I was like, whatever, if doctors aren't going to take me seriously, what's the point? I mean, I'm just not going to go on any medication at all because this is getting ridiculous. Another reason why doctors tend to be a little reluctant to put you on medication straight away is that you can do things to manage it without meds. For example, exercising, eating healthy. You need to get tests done to make sure that there's nothing else that's wrong with you. So most doctors were quite hesitant to put me on medication until finally I met this doctor and I'm like, look, just take my word for it. And he did, and I'm so grateful for him. And that's when I learned that when it comes to your health, you need to advocate for yourself. So eventually I went to this one doctor and I said to him, listen, doc, I need you to take my word for it. I've been for tests, I've been for everything. I suffer from high blood pressure. And I need you to just understand that I need to be on medication. Please don't interrogate me about it. Just take my word for it when I say I have high blood pressure and I've gone through all of the steps. From then, I started the long journey of trying to find the medication that works for me. So there's tons and tons and tons of blood pressure medication out there, and they're different grades. Like there's the entry level ones, and then it starts to get a bit more serious from there. So it took a couple of months. It took about 6 months of trying these different medications, checking my blood pressure every day. And it sucked because for a lot of the meds, they have some side effects that aren't that great. For example, some of them you have issues with headaches or frequent urination. That's a very common side effect to have with high blood pressure. And it's something that really got me down, particularly the frequent urination one, because it sucks. You feel thirsty a lot, but every time you drink something, you're rushing to go and pee. You know, like an old person. Like, you know how old people complain? Old people always just need the bathroom all the time. That became my life, and it made me miserable. I may not have a cup of tea, I'm rushing to the bathroom. I'm having this, I'm rushing to the bathroom. So that was part of the thing that made finding the right mix of medication difficult for me, because if the medication was giving me side effects that I wasn't comfortable with, but it was working, I would stop taking them because it was making my lifestyle difficult. I'd have anxiety about going on long car rides because I'm like, oh my gosh, where am I going to use the bathroom? And I'd stop taking my medication. Then eventually, my doctor, he was really good. We eventually found the right blend of meds that I could use, that I could take, and that was great. So finally, I found a set of medication that helped me with no horrible side effects. I still felt fine. I mean, there was no frequent urination, no bad headaches, and that helped me a lot. Now, just one problem. This same doctor then says to me, well, I hope you don't get pregnant because, you know, your body won't be able to take it because your blood pressure is too high. I was crushed. I remember calling my family and my siblings, my mom, my friends, and them just saying to me, no, don't worry, get a second opinion. But I'd all but given up. I was like, you know what, whatever. Now this guy's saying that I can't have kids after it's taking me so long to get to this point. Because the other challenge was the medication that I'd finally found that had me balanced was not conducive for pregnancy. So it just had me so down. I kind of gave up. I'm like, look, whatever, I just can't catch a break. So regarding the pregnancy issue, that's one of the many times that I can say with confidence that God came through for me. Because from the time that I got pregnant, I had an amazing doctor who was on top of my blood pressure from the very beginning. I was on a lot of medication and I had to check my blood pressure constantly, 2 or 3 times a week. I had to see, I was supposed to see someone every 2 weeks to just make sure that I've got it under control. But my doctor was on top of it, and I just thank God. I'm so grateful because I had a healthy baby. My blood pressure was flawless throughout my entire pregnancy. So that's just a little testimony over there that the doctors can say whatever they say, but ultimately God is the one in control. So yeah. So at that point is when I kind of decided to start taking it seriously, taking my health a little bit more seriously, and just being on medication. Now, in terms of my lifestyle now, I'm used to it. I've accepted it. It's not easy, but I try to take good care of myself. And a big factor that encouraged me to do that is after having my baby. So before I had my son, I was kind of a little blasé about it. Yeah, whatever. I'll take my meds when I want to. I'm too young to have high blood pressure, blah, blah, blah. But after he was born, he gave me something to live for. And it made me want to really start taking care of myself better. And when I say that, I don't mean, the second he was born, like a switch went off, like, oh my gosh, yeah, I want to. No, I mean, in the more recent times, like in the last month or two, I really sat down and I thought to myself, if I'm not taking care of myself, I'm damaging my son. If I die at a young age, what will he do? And when I think of that, it just breaks my heart to think that by not taking my medication, I'm making a conscious decision to not take care of myself, and I'm stealing away years that I could spend with my son. So that kind of pushed me in the right direction. I lost my parents a couple of years ago, both of them. And for me, I sit and think, if I could have added even a single year to the time that I had with my parents, I would have done anything to be able to do that. And here I am, choosing to not take my medication and taking away time from my son. And that thought is what constantly makes me want to take my medication every day and take better care of myself. So not only am I taking my medication every day, I'm trying to clean up my lifestyle. I'm trying to change my diet and also just get healthy and exercise. So if any of you are interested in the exercise journey that I've been on, just let me know down below and I'll document it and let you guys know what I've been doing. But I'm trying. I mean, nothing in life is guaranteed. I could be in the best health and walk out of the door and have an accident, and that's it. And that's okay. I understand that. But if there's anything in my control that I can do to improve my quality of life and increase the amount of time that I can spend with my son, then I'm willing to do it. I want to see my grandchildren. I want to see my great-grandchildren. And it's just a decision that I had to make. And it's just one of those things that I've learned to accept. Having hypertension isn't the worst condition one can have at a young age, but I just thought I could just tell my story to maybe encourage people who are young to just keep checking your blood pressure. You never know. It's something that you don't know that you have until you've checked it and you realize it's quite high. So if nothing else, I hope this just encourages all of you out there to just take good care of yourselves. Take care of your health. Check your sugar levels. Check your blood pressure levels. For women, check your breasts for lumps. Just take good care of yourself, because tomorrow isn't guaranteed. But if there's anything that you can do today to give yourself a better quality of life in the future, I think every single person should be taking that step. That's all I have for you today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like more videos like this, just let me know down below. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and click the little bell icon there so you can get notifications whenever I post. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.